Now, I am delighted to say we're joined right here in the studio by this man.
Ben Mee makes a fantastic near post run.
Ben Mee.
Talk about Ben Mee.
Mee with a good run.
What a stop on the line by Ben Mee.
Ben Mee.
Good header from Ben Mee.
Mee heads home from a corner.
Ben Mee appeared like the shopkeeper.
I'm delighted to say it's a very good morning to a man who's made, well, very nearly 460 appearances in his career. He's faced some of the best players in the world. He's still playing in the Premier League right now. He won the Brentford Supporters Player of the Year award in 2023. It is none other than Brentford defender Ben Mee. Morning, Ben.
Good morning, Ben. Guys. Morning, mate.
Well, look, Ben, first, let's talk about this season at Brentford, shall we? Because, you know, if you looked at the table, 11th in the table, yeah, that's okay. But the truth is, very close to a European place.
Yeah.
Is there a thought around the club? I'm sure they don't talk about it, or at least you tell us they don't talk about it. Is there a thought that Europe could be within reach?
No, we do talk about it.
Do you?
Yeah, we aim for it. We want to try and get in them European places. The manager's very open about that, I think, and yeah, like you said, then we're kind of in an okay position at the minute. You know, we want to kind of try and push for more. You know, we feel like we're safe this season, obviously, and then try and build on that. And you know, we've got a good squad now. We can try and push for a little bit more, I think.
I was going to ask you about the last 3 seasons. Probably been the most unluckiest team with injuries. People don't talk about Brentford enough about how many injuries you've had. Look at like Rico Henry. Do you know what I mean? The injury problems he's had.
Yeah. He
was so close to, making it into the England squad. So do you think if you didn't have as many injuries, maybe you would have already got into European places?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, we were, especially last season, we were very unlucky. You mentioned Rico there. Josh De Silva's had a really couple big setbacks as well with his injuries. But no, I think we've tried this season to make a lot of changes at the club. To try and prevent as many injuries as the previous season.
Easier training.
I don't know about that, but yeah, just more sort of before training and after training. Really, I think there's been a lot more staff coming in as well and trying to help sort of with that injury prevention. It's been so sort of prevalent with our club at the minute, I guess. So I think a lot of clubs have, to be honest with you, for reasons that we don't really know why. But there's been a lot of measures taken to try and sort of reduce the amount of injuries.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been an incredibly successful few seasons, hasn't it? Because when Brentford went up, everybody thought they were going to come straight back down unless you were involved with the club itself. And I guess the sides who are going to be promoted to the Premier League this season, they can take some inspiration, because Brentford have shown actually it's not inevitable you'll go straight back down. You can achieve fantastic things.
No, absolutely. And there's a lot of talk of now the gap between Championship and Premier League, but you can do it still. I think there's been a couple of seasons obviously where the teams that have come up have gone straight back down, but with a model like Brentford's, like we've got.
Sorry, you've played in both, Ben, Championship and Premier League. Obviously, can you physically tell the difference when you're out on the field? How big a difference is there between the top of the Championship and the middle of the Premier League?
Yeah, I think there's quite a big gap in terms of quality, in terms of being punished for mistakes, things like that. The sort of you give top players the chances, they certainly will punish you, and that certainly happens in the Premier League. But I think that the model that Brentford have got, the way they work, the way the clubs run, I think it's exceptional. It's a model that I think a lot of teams are now trying to replicate and look at.
We'll talk about injuries as well that you've had. Do you think some of them are down to Wissa and Mbeumo in training? Because they're so electric, aren't they?
Yeah,
29 Premier League goals between them this season. How good are they?
Yeah, 2 top-class strikers. Since I've been at the club, they've developed so much. Brian, especially, I always talk about, he was sort of good in one game, then I'd have 2 or 3 off games.
Yes.
And then last season, he got a bit better at that. Got injured sort of around January, and this season he's just been flying. You can tell he's just stepped it up a level.
Yeah.
And then Wissa was in and out of the team a little bit more, probably playing left wing a little bit more because Ivan was playing up front when he was available. And
does he?
No, he doesn't stop. Honestly, he doesn't stop in training either. He's he's top player, and he's getting goals now, which is amazing for his hard work that he does put in. He's getting the goals as well.
Yeah, because everybody thought that when Ivan left, that you would struggle for goals and that you would miss him out. And with no disrespect to Ivan, certainly in terms of results, you haven't missed him.
No, Ivan's a top player, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think we sort of adapted a little bit more with Wissa and Brian and another Kevin Schade as well with their pace up front. Ivan would probably like to come to feet more, was a bit more reluctant to run in behind and stretch defences. But then you sort of bring Wissa into the side, it gives us a little bit different dynamic, and then you've got Damsgaard who probably comes into the pockets a bit more and plays to feet more and creates a lot more. So that, the way that the club and the managers adapted to losing Ivan has been fantastic, I think.
I want to ask as well about the manager, Thomas Frank, because people say he's the nicest man in football, but being in changing rooms, I'm sure there's a different side to him. What's he like as a manager, and how good of a coach is he? Yeah,
there is a different side to him. You don't see it very often, actually. He's a top man. Like he's a nice guy. Yeah. Really personal with everybody around the club, from top to bottom, and he's all the players think really highly of him. I think really highly of him, and he's a top bloke, to be fair.
Yeah, and every time there's a big job, his name is linked with it. You as players must think, oh, here we go again.
yeah, absolutely. And rightly so, he's linked with them. He's doing a great job, and the club are desperate to keep hold of him for as long as possible. And so,
is there any reason why he couldn't manage, with all due respect to Brentford, a top club?
Not from my point of view. No, I think he'll do a great job. He'll gain respect from players with the way he treats them, and he'll get to know all the players. He knows everyone's families and everything like that, and that just he cares, and that I think when you go into a so-called top club, I think players want that little bit of love and care and they'll play for him and run through walls for him, and when he shows how tactically aware he is as well and wants to bring on players and improve them, I think everyone jump on board. I mean, I don't want him to go, so I'm not trying to talk him up too much, but
I think managers have different styles, don't they? Like, I played under managers that they will scream at you at half time. I've heard that Unai Emery doesn't. Even after a game, he's calm. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll go over the videos. Mm-hmm. Different styles work, don't they, we players? Sometimes you don't have to lose your head, do you, we players?
No, I don't think so. I think that's probably coming to the game more, hasn't it? That calmness that managers have, and we're pretty much the same. We'll go over it. The manager's spoken openly about his 24-hour thing, and he'll analyse it, and he'll review it throughout the week, really, and then we'll build up to the next game. So he is very calm and doesn't really blow his top very often.
Yeah,
maybe seen it once or twice.
You mentioned his relationship with the players and the families and things. Is Brentford, despite the fact you're an established Premier League club now, is it still very much a family club?
No, it is. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's grown since I've been there massively. The staff turnover, the amount of people around the training ground is just it's gone a lot bigger. It's grown a lot bigger probably than what even they thought within the time that they've been in the Premier League. But it does keep that culture of a close-knit group and a close-knit club, which is great. And as long as it can keep that and hopefully have the success as well along the way would be great.
Is it frustrating, as a player, and you see that whenever one of your players starts doing well, it's like, okay, and Mbumo's going to go there for 50, Wissa's going to go for 40. It can be frustrating, can't it, maybe for the older players and the fans?
Yeah, I'm sure it can, but that comes with success, doesn't it? It's going to happen. I think as players we don't really take too much notice of it, but no, it's going to happen. The boys are flying at the minute, so it's part and parcel of it.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.